Sherlock Holmes Was Wrong, Reopening the Case of the Hound of the Baskervilles, by Pierre Bayard. Narrated by John Lee. Copyright 2008 by Les Éditions de Minuit. English translation copyright 2008 by Charlotte Mandel. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Bloomsbury, USA, and was produced in the year 2008 by Tantor Media Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. This disc contains the e-book version of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of the Baskervilles. The audio edition of The Hound of the Baskervilles is available through Tantor Media. Please visit our website, www.tantor.com, or call toll-free 877-7-TANTOR to order the book. Introduction. The Devonshire Moors, Dartmoor. From the chamber where she has been locked for hours, the young woman hears shouts and laughter rising from the great dining hall below. As the evening advances and talk becomes more heated under the influence of alcohol, her anxiety mounts at the thought of the fate intended for her by the men she can hear carousing below. First among them, worst of them all, is the leader of the gang, Hugo Baskerville, corrupt owner of the manor house that bears his name. For months, Hugo had been hovering around the young country lass, whom he had tried to attract by every possible means, first by trying to seduce her, then by offering her father large sums of money if he would agree to further their relationship. But she found him vile, repulsive. She kept avoiding him. So Hugo and his men, on this Michaelmas, have resorted to violence. While the girl's father and brothers have been away, they have kidnapped her and brought her to Baskerville Hall. When the bedroom door had first closed behind her, the girl had stayed motionless for a while, paralyzed by emotion. Now, overcoming her fear, she comes to herself and begins looking for a way to escape. First, she tries to force the lock, but she soon abandons the idea. Made of metal and set into a massive oak door, it would be impervious to her blows. A quick look around the room reveals that aside from an inaccessible chimney flue, there is only one available opening, a little window just large enough for a slender person to climb through. But leaning out, she sees that the ground is far below. Jumping would mean breaking a limb, even killing herself. But this opening is the only one that lets the prisoner entertain a faint hope, provided she can show some nimbleness and is willing to risk her life on one stroke of luck. There is ivy climbing the front of the house from the ground to the roof, and so she resolves, daring everything, to stretch out her arm, grab hold of it, and begin a perilous descent. Having finally reached the ground, the young woman ignores her scratches and at once starts running away from the hall and toward her father's house, whose lights 3 leagues across the moor she can more intuit than glimpse. Despite her pain and anguish, her hope begins to rekindle as she gets farther from her prison. She fights off the terror of the darkness and the eerie noises from the moor, a world inhabited by supernatural creatures in this era not yet civilized by science. These indistinct noises are soon dominated by a stronger, more regular sound approaching quickly. The origin is easy to recognize. It is a horse galloping along the path at top speed, urged on with shouts by its rider, and there can be no doubt about its target. But whoever attentively lends his ear to the sounds of the moor will hear even worse. More terrifying than the noise of galloping hooves is the howling of a pack of dogs, the barking closer and closer, as if they were outrunning the horse and had already left it far behind. The young woman realizes now that her jailer has found her missing and is in hot pursuit, but he wasn't content to ride after her. He also set the pack of hounds that he uses for hunting on her trail, probably after having them sniff a piece of clothing of the prisoner who is now their quarry. Dropping from fatigue, dying of fright, the young woman has no choice but to abandon the path and hurl herself into a broad ravine, a goyal, marked long ago by the inhabitants of the place with 2 tall stones. She knows she has no chance of escaping her kidnapper. All she can do is gain a few minutes' respite before she is discovered and torn apart by the hounds. Crouching low to the ground and trying to catch her breath, she waits for the inevitable end, making her last resigned prayers. The end is not long in coming. Hugo Baskerville jumps down from his horse, not even taking the time to tie it to a tree, and bounds into the goyal.